Hey guys, alright, without further ado, let's continue on in the story of Joseph. Oh my goodness. So, with our little brief intermission there on Judah and Tamar, before that we were reading about Joseph, and he had two very amazing, and what we'll later find out are prophetic dreams. And the result of that was, his brothers wanted to kill him. They didn't like him. So they threw him in a cistern, which is like a deep well, that was empty. And then they ended up selling him to a caravan that was going by. And the last we hear of Joseph is that he has then been sold to Potiphar, an officer of the Pharaoh. So let's pick up in Genesis chapter 39 and see what's going on with Joseph. When Joseph was taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelite traders, he was purchased by Potiphar, an Egyptian officer. Potiphar was a captain of the guard for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did, as he served in the home of the Egyptian master. Potiphar noticed this and realized that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything that he did. This pleased Potiphar, so he soon made Joseph his personal attendant. He put him in charge of his entire household and everything that he owned. From the day Joseph was put in charge of his master's household and property, the Lord began to bless Potiphar's household for Jacob's sake. All his household affairs ran smoothly, and his crops and livestock flourished. So Potiphar gave Joseph complete administrative responsibility over everything he owned. With Joseph there, he didn't worry about a thing except for what kind of food to eat. Joseph was a very handsome and well-built young man, and Potiphar's wife soon began to look at him lustfully. "Come and sleep with me," she demanded. But Joseph refused. "Look," he told her, "my master trusts me with everything in his entire household. No one here has more authority than I do. He has held back nothing from me except you because you are his wife. How could I do such a wicked thing? It would be a great sin against God." She kept putting pressure on Joseph day after day, but he refused to sleep with her, and he kept out of her way as much as possible. One day, however, no one else was around when he went in to do his work. She came and grabbed him by his cloak, demanding, "Come and sleep with me." Joseph tore himself away, but he left his cloak in her hand as he ran from the house. When she saw that she was still holding his cloak and had fled, she called out to her servants. Soon all the men came running in. "Look," she said, "my husband has brought this Hebrew slave here to make fools of us. He came into my room to rape me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream, he ran outside and got away, but he left his cloak behind with me." She kept the cloak with her until her husband came home. Then she told him her story. "That Hebrew slave you brought into our house tried to come in and fool around with me," she said. "But when I screamed, he ran outside, leaving his cloak with me." Poor Joseph. Potiphar was furious when he heard this wife's story, but how Joseph had treated her. So he took Joseph and threw him into prison, where the king's prisoners were held, and there he remained. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison, showed him his faithful love, and the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that happened in the prison. The warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. The Lord was with him and caused everything he did to succeed. See, Joseph had the poor misfortune of being thrown in that cistern and then sold. But it seems like everywhere that Joseph goes and he gets put to work by the Lord, that it becomes blessed and it runs well and it goes good for them. So even in prison, the prison system is working really well because Joseph is there. And I find that fascinating how it clearly shows that the Lord is with him. And I'm sure that there must have been times where Joseph was, hey, I'd rather not be in a prison. I'd feel that way. But I wonder, did he clearly see how much God was with him even there? And in our life and in our situations, we can know whether we are serving in the finest house, like say we're, I don't know, a big shot attorney, or we're a doctor or whatever, or we're serving, mopping the floors at a servant in someone's home, that the Lord is with us. The Lord is with us no matter where we are, no matter what we do. If we're a wife to a wealthy something or another and live in a big mansion, or if we're a single parent and struggle for the day-to-day to make things meet, and need to trust God to be all the things that we can't be, we know that God is with us. So that's what I learned from just reading that we can take heart and know that the Lord is with us, and He will help us. He will walk with us and strengthen us no matter what our situation is in life. Gonna stop there because I'm trying to keep some of these videos a little bit shorter. People were saying they were too long. And then we're gonna pick back up in Genesis chapter 40. Joseph's gonna interpret dreams now. He's not having the dreams. He's gonna interpret them next time. So come join me then. Love y'all.